get up. The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning and every Tuesday morning is the award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan.
Good morning.
Go, I'm clapping for you.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry.
Welcome
How are you
back, Dr.
doing?
I am good today. It is nice, bright, and sunny in Orchard Road.
Okay, fantastic. It's nice, bright in Toa Payoh. I don't know about sunny. I can't see.
No, it's quite nice also
Is it
over
nice?
here.
Okay,
Yes.
it's nice.
It's going to be a nice cloudy day today.
Nice.
Yes. So, Jerry, today we're talking about communication between parents and their teenage kids.
Yes. And specifically, the language that teens use. So last week we had a little bit of a glimpse into the word lookism, which is a very modern day sort of word that the youth, so youth are the teens right up to 35, and they use strange languages. Sometimes I feel I not only need to learn my ABCs, I need to learn all my English words all over again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is true because everything's been cut down to shorter. It's been changed.
Yeah.
Yes, or it's just not the same anymore. And I guess all of us were teens once, and we often say, oh, how come, the older generation there's such a generation gap. We don't understand them, they don't understand us. So today we're going to try and see if we can get into the world of our teenage children or the youths nowadays.
So in other words, parents should just go with the flow.
Sometimes it's hard to go with the flow if you don't know what you're looking out for. So basically, that's what we are trying to see if we have a little path into the world.
Okay, but for parents, if they don't understand their kids, their teenagers, and what they're saying, it's also on the part of the parents to learn or to ask, right? Because the teens also learn and ask from parents.
So if we look at it from choice theory, we look at worlds. So you have a world, I have a world. We look at things from our perspective. So oftentimes parents will look at the world from their perspective and have an ideal world of their child. The child will have their own perspective and own ideal world of the parent and the people around. But it doesn't work that way. So how then do we bridge that ideal world to the real world, to reality?
Okay, let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. We'll hear from Smurfette over here, Angel, and Papa Smurf, FD.
I like Smurfette.
They've had kids and teens.
Are you
especially.
a Smurf too?
I'm Gargamel.
Oh,
all right. Here's David with Feel It on Kiss 92.
Okay. Smurfette. I love Smurfette.
Yeah, I love that the Smurfs, but the kids nowadays don't know what Smurfs are.
No, but I think our two girls know what Smurfs are for sure.
Yeah.
I think they've released the cartoon,
Yeah. What do you mean?
As in they've redone it. It's an old cartoon. Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, they have the whole series on Netflix. Yeah. If you go to the kids profile on Netflix, you'll find all the cartoons there. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Okay,
Nice.
so back to what we were talking about.
If we are talking about the world, the real world, and we are looking at teens having a bit more control. So oftentimes I find that when I deal with teens and parents, the parents feel like they're out of control. The teens feel like the world is out of their control. Parents are controlling them. Parents feel, nope, I cannot understand my child anymore. So what we're trying to do is to help both parties try and gain back control of their behavior and of their understanding so that they feel more grounded also. So that's what
I feel that parents often forget that they were teenagers as well. You know, like, I mean, when my kids were going through their teen years as well, I always used to like just, I mean, it's not perfect parenting, but I'm not saying there is or I am or whatever it is, but always to remember like how you would have thought about it as a teenager, you know, what kind of feelings you went through and sort of put yourself in their position. Easier said than done, because life gets to you, right? And you get sometimes a bit disillusioned about what things can be.
Yeah. Okay. So if we go back and we think about that period of time, so using one of the other frameworks, today a bit more theoretical, although we're talking about a fun topic, Erik Erikson, developmental stages. So he's one of the theorists. And during the teenhood, there is the identity versus role confusion. So they go through this stage of identity, trying to figure out who they are, where they belong, and that would help them with, they cannot skip this stage. It will help them with more committed relationships. It would help them with independence. It would help them with that sense of self, and also, you know, to help them to position themselves so that they feel more emotionally stable. So role confusion would be the opposite. So they will have poor sense of self, lack of commitment, you know, the mental health can deteriorate over time. So you do see some children who go through a very turbulent period and they never learn. But also, if we talk about youth and we stretch it a little bit, they go through another phase called intimacy versus isolation. So intimacy, where they crave, you know, that contact, the attachment, or they feel completely rejected. So if they have gone through that stage and they go through a very difficult period of time, that's when they go into adulthood facing a lot of issues.
And sometimes when they don't get intimacy at home, like love or attention from the parents, they seek this outside.
So they already do during the teenage years because they are attempting to belong to a community. So yes, during the teen years, the family, the nuclear family is important, and the external parts are important, so that the family of origin would provide that platform for them to go out and explore.
But is that really true? I mean,
What?
a teen wanting that intimacy from you know, the family,
Absolutely.
I think so.
closeness.
No, I
Absolutely.
think
Because I think for the boy and the girl, it's different, you know.
I think it depends on the kind of closeness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not talking like, oh, I love you, you're so sweet, this and that. It doesn't have to be huggy, but
Right.
I think it's attention.
But it also depends on the environment, right? I mean, if they were brought up in an environment where perhaps the parents, you know, are not so close to them,
Then they
can't expect, you know, this extra from
It's not so much
the family,
expecting,
right?
but needing.
Needing, yeah, exactly.
It's not expecting, it's needing.
What I want to find out from the both of you,
Yeah.
Smurfette and Papa Smurf,
Yes.
is what were your fears during those years?
Okay.
I
you
can
know,
give
with
them
your
to you.
teens?
I can give them to you.
Okay, stand by.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're heading down the BKE towards the PIE after the SLE exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. This is taking up space in lane 4. Also on the SLE towards the BKE, an accident has been spotted right after Woodlands Avenue 2. That exit, and it's causing congestion all the way to the Avenue 12 exit, taking up lanes 1 and 2. So avoid the rightmost lanes if you're heading down that stretch, and wherever you are this morning, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room this morning, and we're talking about parents and their teens. Okay, sometimes they find it a bit hard to get through to their their teenage children. And so today, I think, Jerry, you know what I'll do? I'll take the side of the parent, which is why I just and maybe you can, because you've been working with many teens. Perhaps maybe you can see if we can find out the reason why sometimes there is a lack of communication or a lack of understanding or whatever. So as I was asking Angel and FD, from the parent's perspective, why is it so hard for the parent to go with the flow?
I think a lot. It's that classic thought process back in my day. Once you say back in my day, you're never going to go with the flow.
No, but you've got daughters, right? Teenage daughters.
Yeah.
So, when they were teens and they were rebelling a little bit,
Yeah.
what were some of the fears, the main fears? Like, for example, maybe an unwanted pregnancy, for example. And that's the reason why you were a bit more strict with them. Things like that.
Yeah, I didn't
as
have,
an example.
I didn't have to go through that. But I learned something very early in my life, and I developed it, and I've spoken about this before. I became parent and friend. And the friend was the biggest thing. I think a lot of parents need to be able to talk to their children, and that does not start in the teenage years. That starts when they are much younger.
Okay.
You develop that friendship much younger, so that when they're in that teenage time and they're confused and they're challenged and they feel lost, they know that I can go to mom and dad because mom and dad aren't going to be mom and dad, they're going to be my friend.
Okay, now we ask Jerry. Jerry, is that correct? Is that the way?
So using the framework, right, must be consistent. So if we go backwards, there is another stage that is trust versus mistrust.
Yes.
And that's the stage parents help the children understand who they can trust, what they can trust, where they can trust, how they can trust. So that's the platform. If we talk about like the attachment that Angel was sharing also earlier, it forms at that point. So when it is breached or it is missing, then they have to move on to the next stage, right? But the foundation is not laid. So that's why when they go on to the next stage, they look for it in their friends, in the environment, in the different people, and they may not find, the most conducive group of people to help them along. So, so, when FD says, I'm a friend to my children, basically he's saying, I help my children feel secure, that they can trust me, that I'm a safe base for them to come back to. So I'm not blaming, I'm not judging, I'm not criticizing. So those are important words.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on The Big Show TV. It's 8:11.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian.
Jerry just brought up the point of important words. The other important thing is thought. A lot of parents think their children expect this from them. They don't. They need this from them.
But then,
I need something. I don't. A lot of parents go, why do you expect this from me? Some kids don't expect it from you. They need it. They need things from us.
But some kids also don't know what they need. They can't express what they need. So
Yes.
the parents need to be, of. I can't think of the word. No, they need to be. Oh God, what is that word?
Open.
Not so much open. They need to foresee
Foresee.
the needs that the children have
Yes.
before the kids know that they need it.
And you can only foresee what your children need or what your children are going to need if you know your children and you know what they're doing.
right. Know
Insight.
your children or know what you're doing. I think there's two
Both.
different things here.
You need both. You need
Okay.
to know your children and know what they're doing.
Because you have to also understand, I think, for some parents have expectations
of
in
their
other
kids,
areas.
yeah.
Like, for me, like, based on what you've been saying, it's almost it's almost easy for you because you're just looking at those two things. But some parents put pressure on themselves as well because they want their kids to achieve.
And to
Yes.
have what they didn't have.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that stresses them out as well, right, Jerry? Like, for example, an exam. Even from primary school, an exam comes about, the parents feel stressed out. Secondary
Yes.
school, the parents feel stressed out. University, the parents feel stressed out as well. Why? Because they
Everywhere.
feel that they want their kids to be successful
And
out in the
independent, yeah.
in the working world.
Yeah.
And if they don't have like a paper qualification or whatever, then they have failed, and their kid might not do so well and will suffer in future. That kind of stress. So what do you think, Jerry?
Yes, I suppose, the parents, they have their own worries, and they worry that their children fail, because if the children are an extension of their own successes. So oftentimes I always, have the parents draw that boundary for themselves, because their children's success does not equate to their success. So it's very important for them to see the child as someone they care for, but is an independent being with the capacity and the capability to perform in their own way. Because a lot of times parents micromanage and they impose so that they have more control. But what they don't realize is that the children would then push them away even more, because they don't want to be stifled. They say, I don't want to be smothered, right?
The more you persist, the more they resist.
Correct. And the parents start to panic, because the more they push, the more the parent panic, so they hold even tighter. Which is
But Jerry, there are different kids as well. I've seen some kids who from a very young age are driven.
Yeah.
So for the kids who are driven, you got kids who are driven, kids who are like,
They can't be bothered.
Yeah, can't
Yeah.
be bothered, and kids who are stupid.
Yes, no, it's
Basically.
true. It's true.
You know what I mean? It's like, I was definitely not a driven kid when I was growing up.
Neither was I.
You know what I mean? But there are kids who are driven. So for these kids that are driven, right? I think the parents, there'll be mixed feelings about that. It's like, okay, so how much more do I push the kid? And as a result of that, right? I mean, you've got a driven kid, you've got a smart kid. Then you get into that mode where, you become someone you never wanted to become.
I know
But there is
exactly what you mean.
there's
you know
no
what I mean.
textbook though. I mean, everything is case by case. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can't like put them all in a basket and say for a kid that's driven, this is what
Yeah.
perhaps the parent can do, because each parent, it could be a driven parent, it could be a parent that has no ambition whatsoever, and the kid is like full on, and then the parents just kind of sitting back going, okay, just let the kid do whatever they want. Or it could be a very successful parent who has a driven child and then
Yeah.
go, okay, I'm going to show you how I did it, and perhaps we can make a couple of adjustments, and then you can be say the most successful person in the world. So it's very, very case by case. There is no textbook.
I think my parents had it easy because I was a stupid kid.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you called
It's like,
yourself stupid.
it's
not
like
us, yeah.
if they would have asked me something, I go, I don't know lah. I was one of those like, okay, I don't know, you tell me.
Yeah, it's not stupid. You couldn't be bothered. That's what it was.
Oh, is it?
I
You're not
actually want
stupid,
to pull us back a little bit, because when you're say driven, not implication, what you are implying is that the child is driven to do good or to study. Most of the time to study. That's what you are implying.
Yeah.
Now I want to come back to Glenn, because when you say you're not a driven kid, what were you doing at that time? You cannot be
Playing.
not-
I just want to play.
There you go.
I just wanna play football.
Glenn is driven. So every child
In
is
different
actually
ways, yeah.
driven. But do we actually see what they are motivated at? What are they doing? So Glenn was actually exploring, he was having an adventure, he was excited, but maybe we didn't pick that up. So studies and books were, honestly,
Yeah,
they
I
It wasn't
hated it.
academia. It wasn't
Yeah.
academia for you, but you
I
love
just want to
sports.
play and I just want to talk.
But
Yeah.
that is the Singapore way.
No, but you see-
driven can only mean
Books.
academia.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what Singapore sees. If you're driven, you're academic. If you are anything else, you're not driven.
Yeah, and it didn't make
Because
you
when I was studying, I'll fall off to sleep.
it didn't make you a stupid kid, neither did it make you playful. You just were driven to play football and talk. And look at what you're doing for a living now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're talking. So
Yeah.
it's that you were driven to do your own thing. It doesn't make you unintelligent.
I think I was just lucky.
No, I don't think
Really?
so. I don't think so. I don't think luck had.
When I was young, I was exactly like you, and the expression used on me was, "You've got the gift of the gab. I hope you use it one day."
See,
Yeah.
we're lucky. There's so many people with gifts of the gab, FD.
Yeah.
But you must remember that luck is preparation and opportunity, and both of you
Yes.
had that opportunity to use that
Yes.
preparation that you've been doing all your lives, the talking. You know, so you fell into, and some people don't, right? Don't fall into that.
Yeah, yeah. So for parents, if it's not driven in the way you interpret what driven is, it doesn't mean that your child is bad or is
Yeah.
wrong. That's
Yeah.
very important to know.
Yeah.
But I feel for the parents, you see, because, parents are extraordinary, I feel. Like how our parents brought us up and all that. It's so stressful,
It is.
It's
So
tough.
stressful. I mean, for me right now, I have no kids already. Sometimes I
You're
still feel
stressed.
stressed.
For your
can you
friends,
imagine
yeah.
if you had lives you are responsible for?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
Okay, stand by. We're going to go for another traffic update.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Alrighty, it's a little bit of a mess on the Yishun Avenue 1 towards Lentor Avenue because of vehicles broken down after Yishun Avenue 2. Also on the AYE, another breakdown heading towards the MCE. This is at the Benoy Road exit. If you have any news for us about anything happening on the roads, or maybe you're walking down the street and spot something, let us know. 88550920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Tuesday. It's Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Good morning,
Good
Dr.
morning.
Jerry.
Morning.
Yes, and we were talking about our teens.
Yeah.
So you were talking about kids that are not driven. It reminded me of a client that came in. So sometimes we have resistant clients that don't talk in our session. But recently I had a client who's not resistant, but she came into session and she couldn't talk. So I looked at her and say, "Is it bad?" And she say, "It's terrible. It's so tough." And she just started bawling.
Oh.
And she couldn't talk for the entire hour. So sitting there, just permitting her to just be and doing certain, whatever that, was at hand. So in my room, there's always clay, there are toys there. So she reached out for something and she started doing. So the entire session was us just non-verbally having the session. And this is something I'm reminded as we were talking, because we expect the teens to talk so that we can understand and we can do something, because if not, we feel helpless. But sometimes teens cannot talk. You were saying that teens may find it difficult to express themselves. So I had a little chicken sort of figurine, and this is what she made during the
Wow.
session.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. She made that
the
with what? The
chicken-
clay.
egg clay. Yes,
Oh, wow.
egg clay. Yeah, and she made it with
The mom and the
large
baby.
one. I don't know. I really have no idea, but she felt so comforted in the session, and after that, she decompressed. So this is something that I want to remind parents that sometimes your teens don't talk, not because they're angry with you, not because they don't want to tell you, but sometimes they just need the space. They don't have the words, but they will appreciate if you're just there, present with them. Because I'm going to borrow what FD say, they trust you, so they are able to be silent in your space. So hold that space for them.
I think one thing I learned as a parent is just because you want to talk doesn't mean your child does.
Yeah.
It's an important lesson to learn. You've got to understand that sometimes, like Jerry said, they just want to be on their own. They want to be. But parents feel, oh, but you don't want to talk to me. You're cutting me out. No, they just need to be on their own.
Yes.
No, I agree.
But I also feel, Jerry,
Space.
that you should also remind these teens that you talk to that their parents have feelings too. You know, their parents are not as strong as they think their parents are. You know,
Sure, yes.
if,
Good point,
if they
yeah.
continue to rebel, their parents could spiral into a depression as well. You know, and as long as they
Okay.
understand that, because to them, their parents are like superheroes.
They can handle anything.
They can
yeah.
handle everything and anything, you know. But depending on where they are, nobody knows, right? I mean, they are constantly thinking of their kids, and for them to actually send their kids, for example, to you, you know, shows that there is something that they want to correct.
And parents have their own set of problems.
They have their own set of
They
problems.
have their own things to think about. So
Exactly.
you're right, though. I mean, children
Yeah.
and teens need to also consider
Yeah.
what the parents are going through.
I mean, I did say today I'm going to take the side of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
parents, because we got to think of the parents as
Of
well.
course,
You know, the
absolutely.
parents may be all smiley on the outside, all strong on the outside, but deep down inside, they're dying. you
Same
know?
as the teens. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a change in perspective from both sides, both parties, not just one party.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's continue to
absolutely.
talk about this on the Big Show TV. Red Velvet is next. This is Cosmic on Kiss 92.
It's funny that Glenn mentioned teenagers thinking that their parents are superheroes and always there to, look after everything. And that's exactly what me as a parent wants to do, is to protect the child from
Yep.
everything that you've grown up experiencing. The bad things, like of course you take the good things out of your own life and you say, okay, I want my children to experience this. But then there are also all these terrible things that have happened to you, people that you've met, situations that have happened, that you want to try and make sure that the kids don't experience that, and also that the kids don't get hurt
Yeah.
and taken
Yes.
advantage of, because when they hurt, you hurt.
Yes.
We hurt
and a lot more.
We hurt. Well, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if we hurt a lot more, because we can't really
Okay.
realize
cannot
what the
measure.
children
Yeah.
are going through. The children
That's
may
true.
show, oh, I'm fine or whatever it is. But hurt is hurt, right?
Yep.
We
Yep,
cannot
abs-
minimize it and say, oh, your hurt is less than mine or more than
Sure.
mine.
Absolutely. Yeah, but yes, parents always want to protect, but sometimes we need to let them fall.
Yeah,
You
of
do.
course,
You
of course.
do.
But you can't go through that whole parenting journey saying, oh, you know what, just go and fall and learn on your own. You can't, because you need to take your experience and say, this is what
Yeah.
happened. This is how you can only give your opinion of how you
Yeah.
handled it, and then see if they want to do the same or not.
Well, they might have a different way, which also works. So we sometimes do need to sit back after we've given them the boundaries and the options
Of
to
course.
try. Yeah. So yes, I think it's time for something fun for all
Oh,
of us.
yay! Okay, let's do it.
Yay!
Talking about all the language and everything, and listening to our teens, and these are something that I enjoy in my session with the teenagers, is to learn their language. So they always laugh at me because they will go like, Auntie Cherry, how do you not know, right? So there are different eras and there are different influences. So there's the TikTok influence, there's the gaming influence, there's the texting influence. There's so many sort of influence. So we might have to get the young ones in. I actually want to challenge us. So we've spoken about some of the words like legit, sus.
Yeah.
But now the kids tell me it is, so sus is suspicious, legit is legitimate. So now they say it's passe,
Oh,
Right.
There's also Ohio.
Yeah.
gozaimasu.
Yes,
Yeah, gozaimasu is Japanese.
Not
right?
gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu.
That's-
O-H-I-O.
Like Ohio, the state.
The state.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
there.
Ohio is.
Shalini and Cheyenne will know.
Is it an?
This.
Is it an?
And that's all skibbity.
Skibbity. Oh my
Skibbity,
god.
yes. Hey, Glenn,
Skibbity doo
Glenn's
da.
good.
Skibbity a.
Thank you.
My oh my. What
That's what I know. It.
No. What in the world is skibbity?
What's skibbity?
Yeah,
is
we'll,
skibbity?
we'll hear from Cheyenne.
Okay.
What is skibbity?
Skibbity doo da.
Skibbity.
I'm actually okay. These are more like Gen Alpha words.
Oh,
actually.
Gen A,
They're like
okay.
even younger than me. I only hear them from like kids now. Ohio is when something is like really ridiculous. Like it's something they'll say like it's something that only happens in Ohio. So like for us, our version will be like
right.
it only happens in Yishun.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
that's so Ohio. That's so Yishun.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got
yeah,
it.
okay.
And skibbity?
Skibbity comes from Skibbity Toilet, which is
What the hell is a
which
Skibbity
is like a
Toilet?
series of videos on YouTube, if I'm not wrong, or like a bunch of videos
Yeah,
that kids
it is
watch.
on YouTube, but it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
scary.
really horrible.
It's nightmares.
What are skibbity toilets?
I'm not sure.
Disgusting toilet.
A parent's guide to skibbity toilet. Okay, it's up here. Hold on. It can mean bad or it can mean cool, depending on. Maybe it's like the new F word. Is that kind of like that?
No,
No. Also no, because you can use that in any.
But when I was
situation.
told of skibbity, it was bad.
Bad.
It was bad,
Okay.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Right? I mean, what about you, Cheyenne? I mean, was it cool? As
I've heard it in like a chill kind of connotation.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
So if you
Okay.
were to make a sentence,
I don't know how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Neither do I.
Where did you?
No.
Who were you
No.
dealing with that you heard the word skibbity?
no, which is why I'm telling you that kids sometimes come up to me and talk to me
Right,
with
right.
their parents and all that, and all of a sudden these things
These
come up.
words
You
come
see,
up, yeah.
I'm like, huh?
Okay.
What? But I remember the
Yeah,
words, but I
I don't
you
know
know,
the
sometimes
meaning.
I don't quite remember the definition.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the ones who like Glenn's breakfast bingo.
Ah.
Kids. But there are some parents who are, whenever, we bring that up, Glenn's breakfast bingo or whatever, the parents will go like, no, don't say that, don't say that. Because they love you.
Oh, I see.
The parents love you, but the kids love me.
Oh, well,
Okay. Well, at least you all relate.
we're balanced.
to a different generation. What else do you have, Dr. Jerry?
I've got another one. Fandom text.
What again?
Fandom.
No, not fandom. Fandom. Text.
Venom.
How do you spell that?
P-H-E-N-O-M?
No.
You anyhow.
No, I don't know if that's phenom.
Phantom.
Phantom.
F-A-N-U-M.
Oh.
Text. T-A-X.
Text.
No,
Tax.
does
Text.
Cheyenne and Shalini know what it is?
Shall they?
Or is
Cheyenne?
it?
Phantom.
I'm looking it up.
Yes, I know.
No, man.
What does
I
it
know it's
mean?
Phantom Text.
What?
What?
As in, I think it came from like YouTubers, like a group of
Yes,
streamers
it's
or
a YouTube,
YouTubers.
yes.
It's something about like stealing things from your friends.
Correct.
Or like,
Yeah.
like that's the text.
Yeah. Yeah. So I text. So if Glenn was eating like
Yeah.
fries, I do a fandom text and take his fries.
So there you go.
Oh,
So I've been taxed.
So this is your tax before being my friend.
Phantom.
So it was
My
originally
Lord.
coined by the American streamer named Phantom.
No wonder.
F-A-N-U-M.
I was about to ask, why
Phantom.
Phantom
Why went
though?
the Phantom?
So it's an
yeah.
American streamer named Phantom and
see.
Phantom
Okay.
Tax.
Okay.
Okay.
Lord.
All right.
It's-
Keep it coming.
I've got three more.
Well, you don't like it, or what? I mean,
No. It's just amazing
There
how
you
they
see, you
come up
should
with
treat this
stuff.
whole thing the way you treated your kids.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, you go. It's amazing how people come up with this
Like
stuff.
if I reach over for your carrot cake, that's Phantom
That's Phantom
Text.
Text.
Yep.
Actually, it's very funny, right? Because I know FD is a good dad, and his daughters love him a lot, and he always says that he was a friend to his
Yeah.
daughters and stuff like that. But then when we listen to him on the radio,
You
I
could
would
never
never
tell.
have guessed that he is that kind of a father because he's always so fierce.
Traffic.
It's true. You're just the opposite on radio.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE towards Tuas after CMA Road's exit, a vehicle's broken down. Also on the PIE towards the airport, right before Jalan Yunos, look out for an accident and avoid lane 4 if you're heading down that way. And on the BKE heading towards Woodlands, a vehicle has stalled after the KJE exit. As you go through your day, let us know what's happening. 8855-0920.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan. We've been talking about parents and their teenage kids, and now we're talking about
Slangs,
language.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
we're talking
the
really
teen
about
language. Yeah.
It's amazing
Correct,
to me
correct.
how every generation has its own language.
Of course.
We did.
Yeah.
We did in the 60s. We had our own language.
Yep.
All of us
Yep.
have had our own language.
I feel like it's harder now. It's more.
It seems to us more difficult now
Because we
but to
don't
the
know
young,
it, yeah.
It's what they do.
it's a little bit more abstract.
No, I think the language now actually is a little bit easier and lazier because what they've done is they've shortened a lot of words, and they have taken reference from people and all that. But back in the day, we had things like "let the cat out of the bag," "no pain, no gain."
I'll-
on
that's
the
so
ball.
I'll tell you. No,
That's
I'll
so
tell you.
skibbity.
I'll tell you one that blew me away.
What?
The first time I used the expression "six of one, half a dozen of the other,"
Okay,
Glenn did not understand it.
Yeah.
because that was language
It
from your
was
day.
Ohio
it
to
was-
me.
Yeah,
It was-
and if I were to use
Stop
that on,
showing off, Glenn.
if I was to use that on a millennial or anyone
Nope.
further down,
Nope.
they wouldn't get it.
Nope, they wouldn't
get
know.
it. They absolutely
I
wouldn't
don't
get
know. For the benefit of the people that don't know, can you
Tell us what it
it.
means.
Six of one, half a dozen of the other. It's
Same.
the same thing.
Oh,
It's like
Six
same-
of one is six. Half a dozen of the of
It's also
yeah,
six.
it's also
It's
six.
also
It's
six.
also
It's
same,
the same thing.
yeah.
wow.
Same difference.
Yeah, so I always use the term same smell.
Same
So
smell, yeah.
it's just the same smell. Okay, I did not know that one.
Interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
What else do you have, Dr. Cherry?
I want so we'll put a pause on their language, the young people's language. So let's test the the young ones, as in Shalini.
Okay.
Shalini and Cheyenne.
Okay.
So, like what FD said, I completely didn't know what that was.
Okay.
I wonder if they know what the bee's knees mean.
The bee's
Bee's
knees. Ladies, do you know what the bee's knees mean?
Shalini, to the mic.
Ta-da!
I don't know.
Cheyenne?
Something good, isn't it? Like the best, the bee's knees.
Yes, something of high quality. That's
Oh.
right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Okay.
Yes.
A dime a dozen.
A dime a dozen.
Really common.
Very good.
Very
Well
common, very cheap,
done.
yeah.
Well done.
Wow, not bad. I kind of forgot what this really means, but throwing the baby out. Oh yes, I remember.
With the
Throwing
bath
baby
water.
out with the bath water.
Ah.
I haven't heard that expression since I was a child.
What does that mean?
Do we know?
Throwing the baby out?
It's like when you get rid of everything, including the good.
Yes. So it's discarding
Yes.
something valuable along with something not wanted.
I think
Wow.
Shalini is googling.
Cheyenne is awesome. Cheyenne is-
Well, that's really good. Cheyenne's very good.
Penny, for your thoughts.
Let me know what you're thinking.
Let me know what you're thinking.
That's supposed to be for the young ones.
Oh, sorry.
When you want to know what another person is thinking,
Thinking.
usually because they have been quiet for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're down there, you're seated like,
Daydreaming almost, yeah.
Penny, for your thoughts. Okay, anyway.
Yes.
Let's go-
All these idioms are always are influenced by the British.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's very cultural. And I think we have the red card, is it?
Yes.
We do, but apparently we're wrapping up right now.
Yeah, we've got to wrap up right
Time
now.
has passed.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Oh,
today
wow.
there are a few technical things happening behind the scenes.
So we got to say goodbye
So just a
early.
little bit earlier.
Okay.
All
No
right, Jerry.
worries.
Before you go, as always.
Yes. So we can continue it next week if we want to.
Okay.
But
think we should.
just concluding today, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, by Wayne Dyer.
Okay.
Good one.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful day. Bye bye. Up next, Justin Bieber. This is Ghost on Kiss 92.